What if I told you America's economic story began with someone finding shiny rocks in a river and ended with them literally selling rocks to everyone? And by rocks, I mean everything from gold to black gold to, well, actual rocks. Stick around, because how America became stupidly rich is way more interesting and way funnier than your history teacher ever told you. Natural resources, the ultimate starter pack. Let's start at the beginning. When America showed up to the Become a Global Superpower party, it brought the ultimate gift basket, an insane amount of natural resources. We're talking about the kind of natural wealth that would make today's billionaires jealous. First, there was the gold rush, nature's original get-rich-quick scheme. When James Marshall found flakes in California's American River in 1848, it triggered a migration of 100,000 people, called the 49ers. And no, I'm not talking about the football team, though the gold rush did have way more fumbles. Within years, miners extracted over 340 tons of gold, and California went from frontier to state faster than you can say, "There's gold in them Nar Hills." But America wasn't just about the bling. We had the practical stuff too. Coal that powered industries, oil that would literally fuel the 20th century, and timber that built cities. The US wasn't just rich in resources, it was showing off. Think of America's natural resources like the ultimate starter kit for civilization. Most countries get one or two good resources. America got the deluxe edition with all the expansion packs. The Industrial Revolution, when America got its act together. Now, having resources is one thing, knowing what to do with them is another. That's where the Industrial Revolution came in, or as I like to call it, America's hold my beer moment. While Europe was busy having industrial revolutions of their own, America decided to, let's say, borrow some ideas. Our man Samuel Slater memorized British textile machinery designs and brought them to America, earning the catchy nickname Slater the Trader from the Brits and father of the American Industrial Revolution from us. Talk about mixed reviews. And then there was Eli Whitney's cotton gin, which, despite the name, had nothing to do with alcohol. This invention made processing cotton ridiculously easy, which unfortunately made slavery more profitable in the South. Sometimes technological progress has a really dark side effect. But the real game changer, interchangeable parts. This was the IKEA furniture of the industrial world. Instead of custom making every musket, you could mass produce identical parts. This led to the assembly line, which led to mass production, which led to Americans being able to buy everything from cars to toasters for cheap. It was the original Amazon Prime, except the delivery took slightly longer. And let's not forget Henry Ford, who looked at cars, which were luxury items, and said, what if we made these for regular people? By 1925, he dropped car prices from $850 to $290. That's like going from iPhone Pro prices to, I'll pick one up prices. The government's role, or lack thereof. Now, you might be wondering, where was the government in all this? Well, for most of this period, the government was basically following the laissez-faire approach, which is French for, you do you, boo. The Republican presidents of the era had a simple three-point plan: protective tariffs, making foreign goods expensive so you'd buy American, low taxes, because nobody likes taxes, and let trusts form, because sometimes monopoly isn't just a board game. And you know what? It kind of worked. Mostly. Okay, it led to some massive wealth inequality, but America's economy grew like a teenager after a growth spurt. The workforce. Everyone's invited. Here's the thing. All the resources and technology in the world are useless without people to make things happen. And America had the ultimate cheat code: immigration. From 1880 to 1920, the US population exploded, with cities growing at ridiculous rates. New York City went from 942,000 people in 1870 to nearly 4.8 million by 1910. That's the urban equivalent of One minute you have personal space, the next minute you're breathing other people's air. Immigrants and their children became the backbone of American industry. By 1920, they comprised over half of all manufacturing workers. If you include the grandchildren of immigrants, we're talking about 2/3 of the industrial workforce. America's factories basically ran on hopes, dreams, and really strong coffee. These workers powered what historians call the Second Industrial Revolution, which sounds boring, but was actually the most important party you weren't invited to. Electricity, steel production, railroads, America was basically showing off at this point. Which brings us to the 1920s, America's hold my beer, I'm going shopping era. This was when we discovered our true national talent, consumption. New inventions like electricity went from luxury to necessity. By 1929, most American homes had electricity, and we immediately used it for the most important thing possible, buying more stuff. Speaking of buying stuff, meet the real MVP of American capitalism, consumer credit. That's right, we invented buying things before we had money for them. It was financial genius or insanity. Historians still disagree. And how did we convince people to buy all this stuff? Advertising. We sold Americans on consumer goods the same way we'd later sell them on pet rocks and fidget spinners. Radios went from 60,000 sold in 1920 to 10 million by 1929. That's faster than the spread of cat videos on the internet. The result? An economic boom that made America the world's largest economy. We'd gone from European colony to economic powerhouse in about 150 years. The ultimate glow-up story. So what was America's secret recipe for becoming stupidly rich? Let's break it down. 1 cup of abundant natural resources, 2 tablespoons of industrial innovation, a giant mixing bowl of immigrant workforce, a generous sprinkling of government's "you do you" policy, bake for 150 years at capitalism temperature, and serve with a side of consumer madness. Seriously though, America's rise wasn't magic. It was the perfect storm of resources, timing, innovation, and people. The same factors that would later create the tech boom were present in the industrial boom. Big ideas, willing workers, and enough capital to make it happen. The next time you see an American product anywhere in the world, remember, it all started with some shiny rocks in a river and a whole lot of ambition. Hey, if you enjoyed this trip through economic history, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which modern country you think is having its own America moment right now. And if you have ideas for other economic stories I should tell, from the history of crypto to why we decided money was a good idea, let me know. I'm all ears. Thanks for watching. Remember, stay curious, stay skeptical, and maybe check your backyard for gold. You never know.